Live. We're live. It's 5 a.m. Scrum. Good morning. It's Saturday. It is 2:27, and I got to drive 2 hours to DC to take a class. And why I'm bringing the classes to Philly. And this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. This is episode 201, and we're here to help you talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way, maybe. So you get home to your family and friends, or you can have time to go take a class on a weekend, and which is what I'm going to be doing in very short order. I got no watch, but that's the plan. Thinking of the watch, I probably should turn off my phone because when you ring the little bell, you will get notifications that we're live. It says right there, 5:28 live. So just in time. I think it was just coming out. Well, I hope you had a good week. It's the weekend. Again, we do this every day. Do it again tomorrow. It's a 2-day class, so I'll do that. So anyway, a couple things to talk about. And I just think about this stuff, right? So 2 things. One, I have a description of a task and a story that I dreamt about last night. So I'm going to get it out of my brain just to figure out how to describe it, because having people that never done this and how to compartmentalize stuff and the logic, the ways you describe it and everything to people. Some people use food analogies, some people don't. So I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about like real transformation, because I have to get this off my chest because this happened this week and it just blows my mind about enterprise transformation. And it's amazing how people will ask you, well, do you know anything about it? So, yeah, I know about it. But they're always like, they want coaches. I'm like, are technical people. And it's amazing what people really think about. So first, I'm going to do the simple thing. Talk about, because I'm going to get out of here and I got to record this and get it up there and post it. Talk about the idea about how to describe a task and getting a story done, right? So let's say I'm going to draw on the whiteboard, okay? And I got a little blue ink. I got a little green ink. See how this works. So let's see how my artwork goes, right? So you got your house. Got my little house, right? Little house. Little door. Window. Little doorknob. And you got your garden, right? Maybe there's some shrubbery here. There's a garden wall. It goes around the garden, and there's a walkway, right? Garden wall. And maybe this is all grass, and maybe over here is a tree. Where that pen that loops something got a tree, right? Ooh, tree. So we got a tree. We got some green grass, right? And we got some plants here. So the story is like clean the yard or something. Maintain the yard. Clean up yard. We'll just make it easy. Clean yard. What is that? What are the tasks involved with cleaning the yard? Mowing the lawn. Mowing lawn. Trim bushes. Maybe broom off the sidewalk, clean sidewalk. So you got a whole weekend to do this, right? 2 days. So your story is a 2-day story. It takes 2 days to get that. That's the story. Clean all that up. That's the story. It's not a feature, nothing. It's a story. Just the way people treat software is why we watch them. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Would it make sense to sweep the sidewalk before you mow the lawn? Probably not, right? Because if you mow the lawn, the grass clippings are going to get on the sidewalk, and then you have a mess, right? But you already swept it, so you're done. So does that make sense? So that goes into the order of the tasking. Some taskings make sense to be done in a certain way. In the end, the test is, for those that like to, drink beer at inspection. Okay, so you need that beer at an inspection, right? Working out in the hot summer, this is middle of winter. Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine this, but maybe you need a beer at the end when you're done, right? That's the tester gets to drink the beer, or maybe that's the product owner. You are the product owner. You get to celebrate, have a beer, right? So would it make sense, like every day? Because people ask me, well, how do you task? Well, I'm like telling them, we'll make the tasks no longer than the day, and if you have multiple days it takes to get something done, you need multiple tasks. And I'm like, why? Why can't I just do one big thing? Okay, let's do it. Let's think about it. Let's say I go out and mow the lawn. And for some reason, I start mowing here in the bottom corner and here. Maybe I'm just going across, right? I can't tell. It's a small drawing, so you gotta live with me. All right. So I stop there. Come the end of the day, I ran out of time, or I had to go make dinner, pick up something, got to do something in the house. So that's where I ended. And you go to start the next day. How are you going to know where you start, where you ended, right? Well, here's the other good thing. So I did these tasks, and let's say, oh, you know what? I decided I'm gonna trim up some of my shrubs. So I jumped around from task to task. So I did some mowing, cleaned that up, cleaned up some shrubbery, cleaned that up, right? And then I take a break. So those are two tasks. One was shrubbery, one was mowing lawn. Come back the next day. How do you know where you left off? Is it really a clear demarcation of where you finished mowing lawn? Mowing lawns my whole life as a kid. If I were to stop there, you know what I had to do the next day? I'd have to mow it all again, because I would have no idea where I stopped my work at, right? So maybe the tasks are a couple things broken up. Maybe this is side one and this is side two. Maybe if I mark it right, instead of having these two big tasks, maybe I have them as 4-hour tasks. It's a big yard, right? Big yard. So I get rid of part one completely. So if I have to go do an errand or pick up the kids or do something, I know this entire piece of lawn got finished and got mowed, right? So no matter where I break, I know that's done. So this is part about breaking down tasks. Take this big task, break it down to smaller tasks. This is before lunch. This side is after lunch. Now after lunch, I finished that. Now I know exactly where I am. I have my bushes, right? After I finish those two, and I know they're done completely, right? I can then go do the bushes next day. So the next day, this is like a 4-hour task. This is a 4-hour task. Maybe this is another 4-hour task. Maybe I want to make dinosaur shapes out of the bushes. So this is a 4-hour task. So I cleaned up that. So now you can see how it works. The first 4 hours, I did this. I know it's completely done. It's all in that area. I'm done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. The second 4 hours in the afternoon, I did that. That is completely done, right? Got a cat stalking the couch. I'm blocking her spot. And then I got a third task, which I do the next day, of trimming the hedges. Okay. Then I just do a cleanup, an inspection. Maybe my testing is 2 hours where I just clean the sidewalk at the end. So my testing is like 2 hours. Got that developed and cleaned. This is developed and cleaned. The hedges are good. Walk around. Now my last one is I have my beer. Right. So that's all done. But that's the idea. I don't know why I dreamt about this last night. describing this as clean edge, but it works pretty good. I'll have to make it more refined. But this is raw from the middle of the night, sharing live on the system, and we're in the 10-minute mark. So maybe this is a good way of doing a description of what do you do task? How do you task things out? You ask them, would it make sense to stop now? Well, no, I'll have to take me an extra hour to figure out what, or I might have to redo the whole working because I don't know where it relates to. Tasks are like clear places where you can stop and know you finished something, right? So that when you take a break in 4 hours, you know it's done. And I would break these long things up instead of having this giant task that takes 2 days or a whole day. Break it up too, because people interrupt you all the time. And that's one thing I don't get with people. I don't want to write all these tasks. Look, you get paid 8 hours to work in there no matter what you do, right? Just do it. Break it up. It'll make your life easier, because I'll tell you, all week has been a pain in my whatever, where people asking me to do things and figure something out and create something for a report and get some data or do this. I'm like, if you stop at, I can get one done right now, but I couldn't, right? They want me to do a couple different things. Anyway, on that note, so that closes the description of tasks. I should take a picture of it before I erase it, because I'll put it up on Instagram, right? Okay, the last thing, because I got to get out of here and I got to drive 2.5 hours to this class. Agile coaching and agility, and really actually doing transformational stuff. So I'm in a meeting, and I'll give you an example. Where I am now, where I've been in a couple places, they didn't have a real good communication tool. And when I'm trying to get them to put it in, it's hard. I mean, it's really, I never had such a tough group. I know I actually have had tough groups. It's just amazingly hard when you do enterprise transformation, how long people want to do something. But I'm implementing something like Slack, and I'm going across the organization, and it's amazing how but once they start using it, they're like, oh, it's like, it's a really good tool. So they're fighting me tooth and nail, but I'm trying to transform how they work. I'm trying to give them mega changes in how they do stuff and how they communicate. So there's a contractor in here. We implemented a new software tool. I'm not going to tell you what it was. And it's related to Agile, right? So people tell me, yeah, Agile stuff. Oh, and by the way, I made a point yesterday, because I was just venting to a front-end designer. I'm like, don't these people have any idea? It's been doing reports to base commanders, every military, undersecretary of companies, all 30 years of my life, right? So I know what goes into reports. I know how things look. I know how to grow graphs in Excel. I love it when people ask me, do you know how to use Excel? But you know what? Some of the way people answer questions, I'm kind of understanding why they ask that question. So I got these, quote, Agile coaches who know Agile, who know the software, are like, you know what my goal is today? My goal is to make everybody in the whole enterprise use the same call out letters for how we identify sprints. I'm like, really? We have like, I don't know, a couple thousand teams, right? So there's a couple thousand teams. Yeah, we need this. We need everybody uniform so we can report out. I don't think anybody realized how much I know about the system that they're trying to do. Like, we're gonna make everybody conform, and they've already created this 10-letter. Somebody in their brain decided that every team needed to have 10 letters in their team name, and then somebody decided that they needed to add the year to that. Then somebody decided they need to add the quarter because we're doing safe and we got to know what PI we're in. And then somebody needed to add, we need to have the sprint and the date and this and that and the other thing. And then there's a whole nother aspect of this in this program. So say by the time they got done with all the letters they want, the combination's over 20 digits long. I don't want to even go into the whole idea of what they wanted to do for release tracking. Because release tracking, I'm like, I think it's like 25, 30. I mean, if I really counted it, I know it's at least 20 digits. Because you think about it, if they have a 10-letter name, put some dots in there, put 4 letters for the year, and it's 4 years, put like a time, a month, we're easily at 20. It gets there, right? Maybe even 25 because they want to put little notes on it so they know whether it's one kind of release versus another. So we're over 25. So I'm in this meeting, and I go, and I'm getting over the 15-minute mark, which is bad. So give you the context. This is what they want to do. So I say, because they're real cheap on what they want to buy. And I go, you're going to make like a 20. I said, does anybody ever built like a spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, like a bar chart and had where the bottoms are 20 digits long? Do you know what happens to the naming convention? It truncates it. All that stuff you put at the end so you knew what it was, you won't see it on the graphic. It goes away. I go, so this is what I said. First, I'm going to try to quote myself. I said, 1, when you do it, it's going to truncate it. You won't see it. 2, these names are getting so long, and to do what you want to do, you're going to have to make custom UI front-end software to display this information. If you keep it nice and tight, you can use the out-of-the-box software to present the data and the metrics you want. Are you going to spend all this money developing and writing this code to redisplay the thing? Crickets. They're still going to go do it. And there's this one little Agile coach or Agile technician, whatever the hell you want to call him. He's going to go, I made everybody in the enterprise have the same sprint name across the enterprise. That was my achievement. What the hell? That ain't an achievement. That's nothing. That's wasted energy. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because there's things in the system. There's caps and how much you can roll up all this information. So they're all like, oh, we're going to do this so we can analyze. You're going to have to develop an outside software piece, do a data lake or something, pull all the data out of the system, build an entire another setup of systems to go data mine something about getting shit done. Million. I love consulting. I love these people. They're here to sell you a piece of tool, a data lake, Oracle, add all this extra stuff. But it's not really the money generator, right? It's away from it. So anyway, I just had to laugh and vent a little bit. So they want to do all this stuff. They're going to have to build this whole elaborate stuff and to get it to work. But they're feathering a cap for the person who's doing this. Is going to be like, I made the whole enterprise conform to a certain way of writing down how to do releases or recording the sprint names and stuff like that. That was my achievement because that's going to help with us analyze everything. And it's really not because you can't even pull the data. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. You want to say goodbye, Ed? You want to ring the bell?
Yeah.
Ring the bell. Come here. I can't see you. What's the ring the bell for?
Subscribe.
So subscribing, ring the bell. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. And you have a great Saturday. We will see you tomorrow, Sunday. Maybe some more stuff after my class. And take care. Bye. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Eddie, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Lots of thumbs. Got to raise your thumb up. I got thumbs. All right. See ya.